a plug-and-play type of system doesn't exist for something as specific as a union. Their dues are, or rather, they have a very company-specific process. And I know it's easy for people to say that, why don't you use something off the shelf like Salesforce? But that is so generic that it's really hard to customize it to be as specific as some of these companies need. The thing that I've seen with off-the-shelf software like that is that you can get it 80% of the way there, 80% to 80% of what you need relatively easily, but the final 20% is really hard because your requirements at that point become so specific to you that the off-the-shelf software really doesn't want to do that. When I say it's custom built, we still use industry standards such as Amazon Web Services for hosting. So Amazon Web Services is just a leading cloud provider, and it's used by governments, it's used by the NASDAQ. So they have the security process already down. We can just use their services and leverage those security services that they already have in place. And that's what we do. We don't create that from scratch. What we are creating is the functionality that the website or the software needs. And then we are creating a process to host it properly on their cloud provider with all of the necessary security that AWS recommends in place. Yes, someone has to make sure that those are set up correctly, which we do. Just because someone's created a system for you doesn't mean that you're locked into them for good. I already had a legacy system, which was in Java, written in Java. And they used a database system called Postgres. So again, those are industry standard languages. So as long as you have a team or a person who's skilled enough to understand how these processes are working, they can always figure out what's going on. And we did. So when we came into them, we didn't know what their systems were because the person who had, or people rather, who had set those up for them had already left. So we were able to go in and figure that out. Similarly, if we were to create a brand new system for a company, as long as we use industry standard languages and some rudimentary documentation and create, proper APIs and code that's readable, another team can take that over. Am I always supposed to let go of my legacy system? The answer is not exactly. Often a legacy system is very complex and it's not something you can get rid of overnight. So very often it takes like a year or two to even get on a path away from it. And you just have to make sure that you can keep it going. And one of the ways you can do that is make sure that you maintain servers either on the cloud or on premise that have all of the versions of the software that your legacy system uses. You can't just, apply random patches or updates to those things because that would make the legacy software stop working. So you have to make sure you're with a team who understands that, a legacy system has its own set of requirements and you can't just randomly apply updates to it.